Hello, everybody. Today, we shall try and understand the critical importance of delta sleep. I am Kamala Bharadwaj, architect of health and wellness. I welcome you to today's episode where we delve deep into the science of sleep, particularly the significance of delta sleep and its impact on our health. I have been working on how sleep, as a matter of fact, influences our life and living. Let's start with basics. Why is sleep, particularly delta sleep, so crucial for our health? Sleep is essential for all living beings, not just human beings, but be it an insect to a reptile to a mammal, everybody needs to sleep. If it's a child, it sleeps for 12 hours and more. An adult sleeps for 8 hours and more, which means in your entire life, one third of your life gets invested, or rather, one third of your life is occupied with just sleeping. If one third of your life is invested in sleeping, isn't that to be given some importance because its quality affects your life's quality? Sleep is a period when the body undergoes repair and rejuvenation. Delta sleep, also known as deep sleep, is a phase of non rapid eye movement. And this plays a critical role in the physical restoration, memory consolidation, and maintaining metabolic health. During delta sleep, the brain emits slow delta waves, and these are crucial for restorative processes. This is the backbone of a good night's sleep. I once had a patient who was a high powered executive. She was constantly burning out the candle at both the ends and getting by on just a few hours of sleep. She started experiencing memory issues and frequent illnesses. Once we improved her delta sleep, it was like night and day. Her health and performance drastically improved. Now I've been mentioning about delta waves. Let me elaborate what its role is in sleep and overall health. See, delta waves, which oscillate at a frequency of 0.5 to 4 Hz, are predominant during delta sleep. This stage typically occurs in the first half of the night and is when the body performs its most intense restorative functions. Growth hormone is released, which helps in tissue repair and muscle growth. Additionally, delta sleep is vital for detoxifying the brain and consolidating memories. So, for people who miss out on their sleep, have the possibility to hallucinate in days to come. Delta sleep is a state, it's when the brain takes out the trash, so to speak. Imagine it as the cleaning crew coming in at night to clear out all the debris from the day. So, now let us understand what are some of the consequences of not getting enough delta sleep. See, lack of delta sleep can have profound effects on both physical and mental health. Insufficient deep sleep is associated with increased risk of Alzheimer's, premature death, chronic inflammation, and various metabolic disorders. It also affects the regulation of hormones such as leptin and ghrelin, which control appetite and metabolism. Consequently, sleep deprived individuals often experience weight gain, high cholesterol levels, and an increased risk of developing chronic illnesses, including various types of cancer. So it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. The body can't keep up with all its needs. I recall working with a middle aged woman named Mridula. She struggled with weight gain and high cholesterol despite dieting and exercise. It turned out her poor sleep was the missing piece of the puzzle. Once she started prioritizing delta sleep, her health matrix began to improve significantly. So you may have seen a lot of people around you who focusing on exercising, who focusing on food habits, but somehow their weight loss is just not happening and the weight around the belly is all the more not shedding. Primarily, body needs to relax, restore, and rejuvenate, which only happens with sleep. Considering how alarming this is now, let's understand how this hormonal imbalance and how does the sleep imbalance have an impact on our life. When we don't get enough deep sleep, the imbalance between leptin and ghrelin can lead to increased hunger and cravings. And this increased hunger for craving for food can particularly be for high calorie foods. This can create a vicious circle where poor sleep leads to unhealthy eating habits, an unhealthy eating habit leads to weight gain, and weight gain further leads to sleep disturbance. This becomes such a vicious circle by itself that it becomes a life trap for the one undergoing this. Over time, this can significantly impact overall health and well being. It's a slippery slope. One of my patients, a busy mom, constantly craved sweets and couldn't figure out why. Once we tackled her sleep issues, those cravings reduced drastically. Now, how do serotonin and cortisol play into this equation? Let's see. Serotonin and cortisol are deeply influenced by our sleep patterns. Serotonin, often referred to as the feel good hormone, is crucial for regulating mood, and its production is linked to the amount and quality of sleep we get. Poor sleep can lead to decreased serotonin levels, resulting in mood disorders such as depression and anxiety. On the other hand, cortisol, known as the stress hormone, is typically higher in the morning and decreases throughout the day. However, chronic sleep deprivation can disrupt this cycle, leading to elevated cortisol levels at night, which can interfere with falling asleep and staying asleep. Persistently, high cortisol levels are associated with increased stress, impaired cognitive function, and a higher risk of chronic diseases. It's a perfect storm for health problems. I had a client who was always on the edge and couldn't relax. No matter what she tried, addressing her sleep patterns was the key to lowering her cortisol levels and significantly improving her stress levels. So, now we need to focus on some of the practical tips for improving delta sleep and overall sleep quality. See, to enhance your delta sleep, it's crucial to maintain a good sleep hygiene. Here are a few tips. Firstly, maintain a regular sleep schedule, which is go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Secondly, create a restful environment. Ensure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool before you sleep. Don't switch on strong lights or don't and limit rather your exposure to screens. Avoid screens at least an hour before bedtime as the blue light can disrupt your natural sleep cycle. Next, avoid stimulants. Reduce the consumption of caffeine and alcohol, especially in the evening. Next, exercise regularly. Regular physical activity can promote better sleep, but try to avoid vigorous exercise close to bedtime. Finally, please manage your stress. Incorporate relaxation techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, yoga nidra to help manage stress and lower your cortisol levels. Take a walk, play with your child, play with a pet, take a walk in the park, breathe well, visit a temple, have a gratitude journal, involve yourself in healthy habits, which naturally and drastically gets your cortisol levels down. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes consistent effort to see improvements. I had a patient who struggled with insomnia for years. By making gradual changes to his routine, he eventually started sleeping soundly through the night. Now, let me explain how delta sleep differs from REM, the rapid eye movement sleep, and why both are important. See, delta sleep and REM sleep serve different but complementary functions. Delta sleep is focused on physical restoration and detoxification. In contrast, REM, the rapid eye movement sleep, which occurs in cycles throughout the night, like 45 minutes once, is crucial for emotional regulation, learning, and memory consolidation. During REM sleep, the brain is highly active, and that is when most dreaming occurs. Both stages are essential for a balanced and restorative sleep cycle. You can't have one without the other. Think of it as a balanced diet. You need both fruits and vegetables for optimal health. So, in my experience, if I have to say you what are the common misconceptions about sleep, is one common misconception is that all sleep is the same. In reality, the quality of sleep matters significantly. Deep sleep and REM sleep are both crucial for different aspects of health. Another misconception is that you can catch up on sleep. While getting extra sleep can help alleviate short term sleep debt, it doesn't fully compensate for chronic sleep deprivation. You can't burn the candle at both ends without consequences. I had a college student who thought pulling all nighters and then sleeping all weekend was enough. Once we corrected his sleeping habits, his academic performance and overall well being improved drastically. So, before we wrap up, um, if I have to think of any final advice I'd like to give to my listeners about prioritizing sleep is, see, sleep is a cornerstone of health, just as important as diet and exercise. Please prioritize your sleep by creating a routine that supports good sleep hygiene and addresses any sleep disorders you might have. If you're struggling with sleep, don't hesitate to seek help from a sleep specialist. It's better to nip it in the bud than to let it become a bigger issue. I always tell my patients, invest in your sleep now and you'll reap the benefits for years to come. Thank you for having me. I hope this helps listeners understand the vital role of delta sleep in maintaining overall health. That's it for today's episode. Remember, a good night's sleep is not a luxury, but a necessity for a healthy life. Until next time, sleep well and stay healthy.